On its website, the IFSC describes itself to be globally recognized as a leading location for a range of internationally traded services in finance, further adding the importance of the International Financial Services Centre to the Irish economy as being indisputable. It has become one of the leading hedge fund service centres in Europe, with many of the world's most important financial institutions have a presence there. Nowhere on its website, however, will it blatantly say it is the nerve centre of one of the major tax havens in the world, one that the political establishment of the country are wholly complicit in, namely that of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. The closest it comes to admitting this, however, is where again on its website is stated, one of the most important factors in the success of the IFSC to date has been the commitment by successive governments since 1987 to its development as an international financial centre. Further stating, this can be clearly seen in the way in which regulatory and taxation legislation has been amended over the last few years to enhance the IFSC's attractiveness to foreign investors. The legislation in question is key to tax haven Ireland's operations and will be looked at in much greater detail. But first, a look at the origins of the IFSC is much needed. Dermot Desmond, an associate of Haughey within Ireland's political and financial circles, recalls a dinner meeting held in the mid-1980s, in which Haughey and his government were looking for ideas to generate more taxes. Desmond's background was in international financial services, and made proposals on how to make Ireland a viable location for an international financial centre. Desmond drew up a paper outlining plans, but the coalition government of the time shelved it. Later in 1986, he proposed the idea again to Haughey, who then invited Desmond to sit in on an economic advisory committee, followed by several further discussions on the matter. Then, prior to the general election in 1987, Haughey wished to make it part of his election campaign manifesto, with many still rejecting the idea. To overcome resistance and transform the idea into reality, Haughey agreed to set up the IFSC committee, involving all the relevant government departments and private sector interests. The Dublin Docklands location was chosen as the site for the new centre. Already owned by the state, would have no worry of outside manipulation or delay in construction. The financial community of Dublin did not warm to the idea of the IFSC right away. The Department of Finance were opposed to the plan because they were worried the scheme would undermine bank tax revenues, while the major banks of the country all had their own locations in mind to operate from. Haughey was not dissuaded or perturbed. He was determined to have the IFSC established, as it was crucial to his political manifesto, while being part of a planned finance bill to come. Telling the banking community it was to be built and not allow self-interest, meaning the banks, to take over. Desmond has sung Haughey's praises in retrospect, saying the IFSC has, since those days of its founding, paid for itself in taxes generated for the state, without any loss or payment from the taxpayer, but has criticised complacency of its purpose and the need for the Irish financial sector to remain competitive. By competitive, could Desmond surely be alluding to the case of tax evasion? Indeed, the financial sector deals in the areas of hedge funds, reinsurance, securitization, and exchange-traded funds. But there is no denying tax evasion is part and parcel of the financial world, of which the Irish state is a part of which the following will evidently reveal.